Well, good morning, guys. We're back after our weekend away for Easter. It was a bit of a drama as always. This time had the same issue with losing power, but it wasn't the throttle positioning sensor. What it ended up being was dirty fuel we had this time. What happened was we filled up. It was going fine before we filled up. We filled up, then it got worse, similar to what the issue was we were having before we left, before we got the throttle positioning sensor done. We kept driving it and we got to a point where we had to refuel. So we refueled and we were on our way home because it was getting too bad. And about half an hour after refilled, it started getting better. By the time we got home, it was perfect. I've rung up the mechanics and talked to them, and they thought it was the fuel as well. So we think everything's all right still with the throttle positioning sensor. We don't think it was an issue there. We just think the fuel was the issue. So we'll check again when we go away. But for all the other things that we've put in, like the new sink, the new water tank for the recirculating shower, have all worked great. The sink was great. Carolyn loved it. I loved it. It was easy doing the dishes, so no problems there. The recirculating shower with the tank worked fine and no problem there. Heating it up was fine. It only took 2 heats to heat it up, and once it was heated up, it worked fine. No problems at all. With the Duetto, it's a 10-litre tank, and you can adjust the heat on it. So at the moment we're just over half, and that even was just a little bit too hot. So we're going to put it down, and I'm going to start marking how we go with summer, winter, autumn, which one it should be on. I'll mark them there so we know, and then we can just set it and forget it for that period of time because it works fine. Of course, you can't add cold water, so once it gets to temperature, you don't want to get it too hot. What I did notice though is when we go to empty it, I can't empty the water tank because it doesn't drain back out to the down to the tank down here. So what I've had to do is I've just had to rework some of my plumbing. I've taken, there was a little one-way valve, on-off valve here that I could drain the water, which didn't seem to work. So I've taken that out of the equation, and I've brought it down here. This is the hot water tank. This line here goes to the shower, and it went straight up to the shower connection in here. What I've done is I've chopped it halfway, this scenario here. So I've got a T-piece, which this one here comes from the hot water, this one here goes to the shower, and I've put a on-off valve for it. At the T-piece I've put another on-off valve piece here. And what happens is when I go to empty the tanks for the black water, the grey water and the shower tank, this means I can actually get rid of all the water that's in the system. So what I'll do is I'll empty out what's in the tank, and I'll put the water hose into it from the inlet up here, and I'll run it so the water tank is filling. And then what I'll do is I'll close this valve off here so it doesn't go to the shower. I'll open this valve up here, and then I can just then turn the pump on, and it will ditch all the water that's in the hot water tank, also the filters. So what I'll do is it'll go around, it'll circulate all the way around because the tank's still filling up, but all the water will get pumped out. What I'll do then is once I've pumped out all the water for clean water, I'll shut down the fill for the tank, shower tank inlet, and I'll let it drain out as much water as it can because it'll do it till it can't fill up any more water. Once I've done that, then I'm going to empty all the filters, give them all a good clean out, put it all back in, then I can fill the tank up, run it through so it'll fill everything up, and then fill the tank up again, and then we should be right. It's a little bit of a process, but for us to be able to have showers for as long as we like, whenever we like, it works out brilliantly. So for the little bit of time every time we dump and fill with water, I'll do this as well, it's worth it. So that way we can have a shower every day, we can have 2 showers a day, we can have 4 showers a day if we want. So it's getting sorted out now, so where it's at a point where we won't need to fix anything else and we can just use it the way it is. So guys, I'm really happy with the way the recirculating shower's coming up. There's a lot of tweaks to be done because I've never done this before for a recirculating shower. So if you're doing it, you might find that you need to tweak it a bit like I have. But for now, once I've done this and drained it all out and refilled it for the next trip, and I'll try it again, I'll give you a final update. But I'm pretty sure this is the final tweaks that we need to get the shower to work perfectly. So for all you guys that wanted to know how it's going, here's how it's going, and I'll give you an update. Okay guys, as we're getting closer to finishing our bus build, there's lots of little things that I've got to take care of, and one of them is behind me. I had to put on the white paneling behind the fridge, which I've done now. So as you can see, I did that one yesterday and it's already set. I've just put this side panel on. Now, I didn't have enough wall paneling, so what I've had to do is use some trim and just join this part. This is going to be behind the fridge, so you're not going to see it anyway, so it's not too bad. Except I think I'm going to need another sheet of wall paneling for this side and a couple other little things. But the wall paneling behind the fridge is now done. I'll let it set, and then I'm going to caulk the edges along each edge. Up along here, the fridge sits right back and it hits the top here, so I'm going to put a bit of Van Seal up along here and join it to the back of here, and then the rest of the Van Seal will come across the top up along here where the roof will go. Well, sorry, not the roof, the ceiling. So as Carolyn keeps telling me, it's a ceiling, and I know that, I just say the wrong thing. So anyway, that's what's happening here behind the fridge. I've also made a room for a fan that's going to go in there, so I've cut the hole. I've just got to get the fan for it. So once that's done, I can then put the fridge back. Well, good morning guys. I'm working on another project this week. As we get closer to the end of the bus build, there's a lot of fiddly little bits that I've got to do. It's working on Carolyn's side wall paneling. When I took the skirting off and all the wall off the bus, there was a big plastic bit that goes next to where Carolyn's seat was. So I'm making up a template, which is my favourite thing to do, as you know. What I found easiest to do is to use just paper and sticky tape it together for the template. As you can see, that's the template. It's a weird shape. This little bit here is the section for the lower bit of Carolyn's window. Her actual window, big windows up here. So this is the part there, and this is all along that side wall. That's the wheel arch, of course. Her new seat sits in there. I've got to be careful because up the top here where the armrest is, it's really snug, so I can't get too far close to it. That's why I've left it a little bit. Now that I've done this, I've got some 3mm ply I'm going to cut out to this shape, and then I'm going to go and test it, make sure it's right. If it's right, then I can put the 3mm ply onto the wall paneling and cut it out. Alright guys, this is the template for the spot I've got to put it into. I've still got to make a few little adjustments as it's not quite sitting perfect. I think I've got to take a bit off the bottom here, down the bottom, just to sit it down, because I have got it sitting down along this mark here. So it's sitting up a little bit high. I've just got to work out where it's sitting up high and trim that off. I've got to trim a little bit off here as well. Anyway, that's the piece I'm doing, and you can see what it's covering up. This is just the window in behind there. So let's make the little adjustments to it. Once I've done the adjustments, then I can cut out the paneling for it. I'm going to put some Van Sealer in behind it, and then we can get it on. Hi guys, I did plan to put in the Van Sealer, then the 3mm ply, and then the 1.6mm wall sheeting, but I've changed my mind. I'm only going to put the Van Sealer on and the wall sheeting, so I'm going to attach the wall sealer straight to the frame with liquid nails, and then I'm going to screw it in to hold it down. The reason why I'm doing that is the extra 3mm is going to cause an issue with the Carolyn's armrest, so I can't come past this little bit that sticks out. I'm going to keep the van sealer down the bottom where the holes are. There's a window there, so it doesn't matter. And then I'm just going to van seal over this part here. Then I'll put the wall panel on top of that, which I've cut out now. Alright, so the van sealer is now on. Across here. It's been liquid nailed and screwed in. As well as the little gaps, just covering up the little holes. Tomorrow, once this goes off, I'll then install the wall panel on here. Alright guys, so you can see the wall panelling's up now. I've got a bit of cleaning up to do of the glue just around some of the little bits here. But other than that, that's done. As we're getting closer to finishing off the bus, we have to finish, well, I have to finish off some of the smaller jobs that are left to do. So basically, behind me, if you can see, I only had done 3 of the fly screens. I'd done my one at the back and 2 on the other side. Well, I've made the fly screens yesterday, I've put them up today, so 1, 2 here. We now have the 3 fly screens across here as well. I'm tossing up whether to do some fly screens for my windows and Carolyn's window. I might do it. What we'll need to do with the driver's side one, so I have to put a little channel on there to fit 2 fly screens so you can move one back and forth independently. So I'm tossing up whether I do that or not. We'll see. So guys, that'll do for this week's video. I've got a question to ask you all. For those of you that watch the videos regularly, you may have seen something in the background of something in this video that I haven't put a video up about. So let's see who watches the videos closely enough and can tell me what that one thing that I haven't done a video on is. So leave that in the description below, and let's have a bit of a look of who really does take notice of the bus. Alright guys, once again, that's this week's video. We're getting closer to the finish date. I'm still waiting on the electrician to come back and finish his stuff, which will allow me then to do all the covering of the ceiling, which will be good. I've got a couple videos coming up soon of the finished cameras for the outside, so the reverse camera, front camera and 2 side cameras. Also, I'm looking at some new carpet for the front passenger and driver side, which there'll be a bit more information in the next coming couple of weeks. I'm also waiting on a front cabin. Let me just spin around. I've got a air conditioner being shipped from China. It's a 24 volt air conditioner. It's similar to the Dometic air conditioner, so it's got an outside roof section and an inside section for the venting. So once that comes and I get it installed, I'll put a video up, show you all about that. I'll put the link on who it comes from. Hopefully I'll be able to get some hot weather and I can give it a test out. But that's in the next couple of weeks. It's supposed to land in Brisbane sometime mid-May, and then hopefully it'll be out here end of May, start of June sometime. So look for the video on that as well. Alright guys, so for now that's it. As always, I hope your build's going well. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave a comment down below what you think is a up and coming video from something on the bus. Alright guys, take care. I hope you have a good week, and we'll talk to you next video. See you guys.